gone through what's called the pre-verbal stage, and has gone from making meaningful grunts and babbles to meaningful grunts in words. And so, this year I was truly living at the nexus of policy, practice, and research, which is Harvard's moniker if you don't know. So I would go home from a day of school and discuss parenting policy and practice with my wife, Anna Jo, who would relate to me her research with Julian for the day. And I quote, "He sat up and said, 'Bed? Yes, this is Mama's bed, and this is Julian's bed.' 'Bed,' he agreed. 'Boom,' he added. 'Yes, you can fall off the bed.' 'Door, Papa.' 'Yes, Papa is at school.' 'Bye-bye.' 'Yes, we said bye-bye this morning to Papa.'" So Julian reminded me that children are clearly learning much more than they can express. Finding words, as my Julian did with his mother, is a matter of making sounds connect to actions, like hitting a peg with a hammer. That the sounds make something happen. In these initial conversations, Julian and mother had to lean into each other, like old friends talking at a bar. They had to lean into each other to imagine, to understand, to hear each other. For my wife and my son, and for all of us, learning begins with an observation of something real, something so urgent that we just have to know about. We could just think for a second about what it was that Steve asked us to do, what was so urgent, what so urgently drew us here to HGSE this year, to Arts and Education. What did you have to know about? This mysterious, mundane engagement, Julian's bed, boom, and bye-bye, is what elevates us. It lifts us out of the solitude of our own heads into a relationship with someone who can teach us. The teacher, my wife, leaned in. And so can all teachers, helping us notice more, helping us to reflect further, perhaps to make more profound action. Learning begins here. And learning never stops. And you never stop seeking teachers. So I came to the Ed School with years of experience in schools, but I had burning questions about teaching, about the structure of schools, about the nature of learning. And my teachers and my classmates, all of you, leaned in. You met my desire with more provocation. So now my burning questions still burn. I came in asking, what fosters creativity in students? And I'm leaving asking, what fosters creativity in students? It's the same question, but I have a lot more ways to think about it. I have a lot more models to put to it. I've seen teachers who are themselves pursuing this in their own research. I'm leaving here, not as a befuddled and isolated teacher, but as a practical researcher, enmeshed in a larger conversation. So this year I spent most nights reading and typing on our floor, because my wife and I never bought a couch. So amidst the remains of Julian's day, which are blocks, big trucks, balls, bears, goodnight moon, diapers, seeing the world from Julian's perspective, it was really challenging, really eye-opening for me. So as a tall person, I rarely get to see under tables, and I never notice the contents of lower shelves. So I realized just how alluring that thing is that is just beyond your reach on the edge of the countertop. You just can't get it. So it's this nightly act of perspective taking that I would like to take back to being a teacher, to be able to see the world as my students see it, from where they are in their present lives. And I think this is our biggest challenge, is to imagine and to position ourselves to see the world the way our students see it. It's an even greater challenge for us now, as we graduate from Harvard. We are fresh and buoyant with self-assuredness. We're propped up a little with prestige. We have theories and data sets that keep on expanding and complexifying. The age gap between us and our students is just growing inexorably. How are we going to be able to continue to get down on the floor and to work? So learning brings us to the floor, and it also elevates us. It brings us into our upright with the world. And bearing witness to Julian's learning this year, my wife and I have been lifted up. One afternoon, Julian was lying down on the kitchen floor, and he had a view out the window where the night before he had noticed the moon on his own. And so we both really appreciated the memory and the one-word story as he, pointing heavenward, said matter-of-factly, moon. So may the desire to learn take us from the floor to the moon. May we never forget our beginnings. And may we never stop short of reaching for the highest goals for ourselves and for our students. So I hope that in the coming years and months we can continue to lean into each other as friends and colleagues. Thank you.
How are you all doing?